P-A-T, Patrick Conte. That doesn't look right. Guess it should have popped up. P-A-T,
Okay.
Patrick Conte.
We're on YouTube.
What is your Pat Conte? What is DR Pat Conte?
Okay, let me turn this off. Okay.
What's your YouTube address? At
DR. Can you hang on a second, Christine? Hello. Yes.
I'm not answering the phone as usual.
Oh, okay. What's up?
I'm just leaving the bar. Can you tell Mom to give me her tell?
Okay.
Sometime before 5.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be right this moment.
Okay, I'll tell her.
All right.
Oh yeah, honey. Be careful.
Bye.
Just showed me answering the phone. I'm sorry. Now,
what's your address on YouTube? What's your channel? At DR
DR Pat Conte.
There. Okay, that looks good. Okay, good. So you're in there and good. So you connected just fine. So if you could actually hit pause, I believe you could hit pause.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Good. Let's see what that looks like. And then we want to try to record it as well. Just, I don't know why, just as a backup. So before we go live, you could hit the record button too. It should be at the bottom, just the record
Yeah, I
button.
see it. I see it.
Yeah. All right. Super. And I will once again live. You can hit the record button too. I will monitor. I'll write this in right now. Ask your questions here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining the live cast. Ask your questions here. Okay. Very good. So we'll start off. I'll throw it to you. You'll do Kafa. Then we'll interview Pat. And then let me get something out to talk some science today. Science. Life wave. What to expect. Well, so can I could either send you this PDF that you could share screen with, or you could give me the sharing capabilities
For what?
when I do the science part at the end. So you know what I'm saying?
The science of patching?
I'm going to do one called What to Expect within the first few days, the 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months.
I'll share the screen with you then. Then you can be the host.
Okay.
That's what you got control over it.
Okay. Did you share the screen with me already?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Let me do it now. It's up to you.
Well, it's one less thing to think about later. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. No, I don't know how much time you're going to give me. I was going to show a few pictures, but
Oh,
slides.
I don't know, 10 minutes. Again, we want to just give people an essence. We don't want to overload them. So,
Well, I was going to show the difference between Vata, Pitta, Kapha, mesomorphic, things of that sort.
well, how about if you do kapha tonight and next time that you've done all three doshas, now you give an overview, summary.
I could do that.
If you can't review something too many times. You can't review things too many times. You can't review things too many times.
Right.
You can't review things too many times.
Which also means you should review things many times.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you say that? All right.
All right, let me share it with you.
Okay.
Not, am I sharing or yeah, sharing?
Well, you have to make me host and then I would share.
Yeah, how do I do that?
You go up to the top of
The host.
picture,
Oh yeah,
picture, three dots.
yeah.
Three dots. Three dots.
Make host.
Make host. I'm the host.
You the host.
Idaho host.
Most.
Idaho. That's a good place. I don't know if I guess I was in Idaho. I think I was in every state in the continent of the US except Montana. I was just too far out of the way. Going across the country on 88 or whatever that highway is, I-80. When I just graduated high school, my two buddies and I had a tent and a car. We drove across country.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
And between that and a few other little trips, I've been in every state except Montana because it's just way up out of the way.
Big state. Cold.
Yeah. Old?
Cold up there in the wintertime.
Old.
Whoa. Lots of snow.
Yeah. Big sky.
Not my cup of tea.
No, I spent some time in Wyoming. Oh, Pat's there. Okay, I'll admit her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
All right. I see her. I think she's got some horse awards or something.
yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Hi,
There's
Pat.
Oh, we don't hear you yet. You got to turn on your mic. You unmute yourself.
Hi.
There.
Oh,
Hey, all right.
very good. Now we
The hair, I got thicker hair.
So where's your mother?
My
We're waiting for
mother.
your mother. Yeah.
hear.
There's Dick.
There he is.
We have
There's Dick Jr. Where's your father?
You don't have to take notes, Dick. He wants.
I'm gonna write down something.
Oh, okay. This is
Very
Pat,
cool.
Dr. Pat.
Dr. Pat. Hi, Dr. Pat.
Pat and Dick are the folks that invite me down to Florida with them every winter.
wonderful. Very
And
nice.
they got horses. And Dr. Pat's daughter is big into horses.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
She's equestrian, English style.
English, yeah.
There's all those tournaments. We have rooms filled with medals and the ribbons, and don't know what to do with them all.
We have them hanging around too, and I keep trying to throw them away.
And I won't let him.
Oh no!
Well, if they're gold, you melt them down.
That's a no.
Yeah, we don't make money in horses.
You spend money,
Spend money in horses.
lots of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so nice to meet you too. I've heard so much about you. And
Oh, and Swami, it was all favorable probably because he doesn't talk bad about anybody.
that's that's true. So, what's our itinerary this evening, Swami Ji?
How does this work? You just recording this or are we on something?
We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna be live on YouTube,
Okay.
and then we're gonna repost them on our other social media websites, and you could do the same, and people could just watch it over and over. So we're basically doing what Dr. Stacy does, only because this is a life way of lifestyles. We spend the first 10 minutes. Dr. Pat's going to talk about the Ayurvedic lifestyle and how it connects to Western medicine. And then we'll interview you guys, and then I'll do some science. I'll read this week I'm going to do what to expect from wearing the patch.
Okay. I just, can I say something?
Sure.
Don't tell any surprises. Don't give anything away.
No, I'm not giving anything away. I sent you something that I watched the other day, and this woman had been into all areas of health and wellness, and including herbals, and I don't think she mentioned Ayurvedic, but I think it was acupuncture. Make it long story short, what happened was she realized that the patches was even more powerful, effective than any of the other areas of health and wellness that she had studied. She actually went to school in many areas, and the patches was the most effective.
Oh yeah.
And they're
I
so
sent
easy.
that to you. I don't know if you got it, but
No, you just asked me if I saw Dr. Stacy, if that's what you're talking about.
yeah.
And you sent me David Schmidt talking to the youngest SPD.
Yes, yes.
That's all I got from you.
Okay, I'll see if I still have that other one because I was impressed. It was three different, I think they were all health and wellness doctors, but it was three different doctors
Yeah,
that
she was mostly into acupuncture. She was seriously into acupuncture and some other stuff.
But she had studied some
Oh, she did.
medicine too.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, medical field. And
She spent
Was
40
it Dr.
years.
Stacy's? Was it Dr. Stacy's show?
No, it was who was doing that? There was
I
just
think
three
that-
of us, four of us.
We
on
didn't
it.
know their name for sure, her name
Yeah.
for sure. I'll look for it.
Okay.
Still have it. I'm sure I
Alright.
do.
All right, we got 3 minutes to go.
Okay.
Everybody put their Alavita cream on, so we look
Yeah.
our best.
Hey, you know, the screen puts like a shine on my face, you know.
All right.
Oh, are you guys going to be home about 5:30, 6 o'clock tonight? I could drop by your patches.
We could drop by our patches. Oh, I owe
I-
you. Oh,
I-
that's pretty good because
I-
we can. Well, we were. Mine went to Florida, so I was getting short. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming to New York via Florida. Every once in a
Oh,
while, something
okay.
goes there.
One of my people I've signed up, the couple, they notice when they open up their envelopes, somebody's short one or two patches, and the other person is gained one or two.
Oh yeah.
So I said, I'll find out for you. And he goes, well, if anybody ever is short, they should just call us and we'll fix that for them. He says, but I
Okay.
never heard anybody say they gained any. So
I never
yes,
counted them. That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
never counted either. Now I'll have to start counting.
I never counted either because I'm afraid I'm going to activate them. So last week, I don't know if you saw our show from last week, but Dr. Pat, we interviewed one of his people who joined up. And in 3 days, she the energy patch in X39, and her whole life changed in 3 days.
Really?
And when we talked to her, was it a week later, Dr. Pat? Oh, he left.
He went out to the bathroom or something.
I said, oh my God, your hair is better, your skin is glowing. Just total transformation.
One of the things that I saw that I wasn't aware of on one of the testimonials or whatever it was.
Uh,
They were using the energy patch.
yeah.
Apparently, it's not just energy. There's a whole bunch of other stuff too. I don't remember exactly what it
It
was,
does pain relief
but I was
sometimes.
surprised by what it had going for it.
I was I've been using them now, and every time I come to town, I generally, well, I test for it. I muscle test it, but every time I come to town, I'm wearing these my energy patches today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was using them. The pain went away in my back.
Yeah.
I was stacking firewood nonstop. So
The energy enhancer.
Yeah.
yeah,
It is beautiful.
I put them on my chest.
yeah, I put them up here one day.
Yeah, because
Uh,
you lose them on your arms.
Yeah, when I was stacking wood, I had to be careful.
Uh,
So yeah, if you lose your arms, you lose the patches. That's true. All right, it's time to go. It's go time. So let's see now. Host tools, share more. I don't.
Guess you better
You
turn
were
it
able to.
up.
Did you pause this, Dr. Pat?
Yes, I did.
And
I
what did you do to pause it?
I paused the YouTube.
All I see is stop live stream. Let me see here.
We should be on now.
All right, let me check the YouTube. Yeah, I think we're on now. Let me see here.
We should be on now.
Yeah, okay, we are live the whole time. So no pause. Okay, so here we go. I am going to first record to the cloud. Recording in progress.
My YouTube is muted.
Yeah, you want to mute your YouTube so we don't echo.
Right. Okay.
Okay, but we are live, and
Being recorded.
we're recording locally. And let's see, I want to get to a group shot. All right, so big smiles for the cover. There, I guess that's good. Welcome everybody to episode 4 of LifeWave Lifestyles. Dr. Pat Conte, myself, Swami, and our guests today are Pat Robinson and Dick Wolcott. And we are, as we always do, we start with some lifestyle discussion. Dr. Pat will talk about the third constitution in Ayurveda and how it applies, how you understand it through Western medicine as well. Then we'll interview our friends here, these 20-year-olds, and then we will talk some science. So, Dr. Pat, take it away.
Last 2 meetings we discussed the Vata and Pitta body types. Vata, people know in modern language as the ectomorphic body type. The mesomorphic body type is the Pitta body type. And the third body type that we talk about, or the constitution, is the Kapha. Kapha in Ayurveda is made up of water and earth. They're the 2 major elements that have to do with the Kapha body type. And that is people that have a large body frame, thick bones, heavier, stockier people. And they developed from the endoderm that produces mainly the digestive organs, the liver, spleen, I should say the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, stomach, intestines. So these are the major organs of digestion. It also produces some of the endocrine glands, such as the thymus gland in the chest, the thyroid gland, and the parathyroid glands. It's very, very important glands in the body that provide homeostasis to the body, that keeps us at an even keel, endocrinologically speaking. So the kapha body type, as I mentioned, is a heavier body type, and it has to do with the parasympathetic nervous system. The vata people, who tend to be tall, skinny, anxious, movement, a lot of movement, they're dominated by the sympathetic nervous system, which keeps you going, like fight or flight kind of reaction people. The kapha people are a little slower. They are activated by the parasympathetic nervous system that keeps things nice and calm and cool. I think I mentioned a while back, Deepak Chopra had told a story about when he was in the O'Hare Airport and he wanted to go back to California, but the flight was canceled. It was the middle of winter and they had a snowstorm, couldn't leave. So the announcement came over the PA system that this flight to LA was canceled. Well, the Vata people, or the ectomorphic people, dominated by the sympathetic nervous system, were in a tizzy. They were running around. They didn't know how to get back to LA. They're calling everybody up. They're running around. They're crying. They're nervous. The Pitta people are a little more strong-minded, strong-willed, and they're at the desk and they're pounding their fist on the table. You can't cancel the flight. We have to get back. You got to do something. They're yelling expletives at the poor stewardess behind the desk. And the kapha people, they just nonchalantly slithered off into the ice cream parlor. But that gives you the distinction, a vast distinction between the two kind of people. Now, the kapha people, because they're dominated by the parasympathetic nervous system, they tend to have a thicker dermis. It's the subcutaneous tissue. That's why they have a thick skin. It looks like it's a thick skin because of the subcutaneous tissue. The Vata people have very little. That's why when you put the tourniquet on a patient and take blood, the Vata people, ectomorphic people, the veins pop out. But the endomorphic people, the kapha people, put a tourniquet on and you still can't see the veins. So you have to press all over to see if you can find a vein, and they stick the needle in, close your eyes, and hope you hit a vein. But the kapha people, they take a little longer to learn, but they're like the elephant. Once they learn something, they never forget. The Vata people learn very quickly, but they don't remember as well. Now, because these people have to do with the GI system and the pancreas, they have a little more difficulty with carbohydrate metabolism. So these people should avoid all the sweets, right? All the things that we love to eat: ice cream, cake, candy, desserts, pastas, pizza, all these things. They have to watch out because they will help them gain weight. And because they are also dominated by the water element in the body, they tend to retain fluid. And if they retain too much fluid, then the ankles swell. And it also can produce some more pressure in the heart. So these people tend to develop congestive heart failure. So they want to keep not overload themselves with water. Watch out for the salt. And the other thing, as I mentioned with the body types, the Vata people, because they tend to be dry, we don't want to give them diuretics if we don't have to. The Kapha people tend to have more fluid on board, so you got to be careful. You don't want to give them too many salty foods. The other thing is because they're dominated by the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows things down, we have to watch out when we treat these people with beta blockers. Beta blockers slow everything down. You call here. Anyway, they have to slow
Beta blocker.
down the body. So they tend to have a slow heart rate to begin with. When you give them beta blockers, it even slows the heart rate even more. So you gotta be very, very cautious when we treat patients with beta blockers that are Kapha people, Kapha, or we in modern medicine call endomorphic people.
So I have a question for you, Doc.
Sure.
So I read an article the other day, and by the way, I failed to say before, let me say it now. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only, even though Dr. Conte is a medical doctor. He's not your personal doctor. We're not giving any advice here, medical advice. We're not trying to treat, diagnose, prescribe, cure, heal any condition. Talk to your holistic healthcare practitioner for anything at all. And if anything you're interested in here, run it by them as well. Try to make sure your holistic healthcare practitioner is open-minded, which would make them holistic. So question for you. I just read an article, I think yesterday or today, that these low-carb diets, they're now finding it's not very healthy for a lot of people. And I forgot what was missing that you needed the carbs for. My question to you is, well, if you could address that, but particularly, I would say probably of the three constitutions, the Kapha dosha person would be the one that would be best suited for low carb diet.
That's right. Not one diet fits all. Depends on your constitution. This is what we learned from Ayurveda. By the way, Ayurveda comes from two Sanskrit words. Ayus means life or really existence, and Veda means wisdom and knowledge of. So there's a lot of tremendous ancient wisdom that we can learn from Ayurveda. Yes, when we as an Ayurvedic physician, when we prescribe a diet for people, we first look at their constitution, what they should have, what they shouldn't have. Again, people that are Vata people, they tend to be cold and dry, so you don't want to give them a lot of dry foods or cold food. You want to have warming foods for them. The Kapha people, they tend to be a little more moist, more wet in their constitution, so you have to watch out you don't overload them with a lot of fluid. So again, one diet isn't for everyone. It may be for a lot of people, but may not be right for you. So we'd have to look at your constitution to determine. This is one of the things I was going to get into, what kind of diet that different dosha people should follow.
We'll cover that next time.
Yes.
Next meeting. I just real quick, I know your habit as a doctor is to say, but even Ayurvedic doctors don't prescribe food plans or herbs. They recommend them because it's a holistic practice. Prescription relates to the drug. So I know you're used to using that term with your patients, with your medical patients. So I just wanted to keep it clear here. No Ayurvedic doctor prescribes anything, even personally. They'll recommend it. That's all we can do in the holistic field.
Well, what I was really driving at was,
yeah,
I better not even say it.
Yeah. We want to be compliant.
Just have an idea. Just like I was going to mention, the Pitta people that have a lot of heat in their body.
Yeah.
Heat burns, and things like aspirin also burn, so that can also imbalance the people. So you got to be careful if they take a lot of aspirin, because aspirin burns, it's an acid. So you have to keep the acidic foods and the hot, spicy foods at a low level in your diet. Anyway.
All right. So I think that's pretty good. Any last thought you wanted to wrap up with here? And then we can move on to our testimonial of the day.
Well, last thing is, if I could just say this, we are not all Vata or Pitta or Kapha. If you have a Vata constitution, you have some Pitta and Vata and Kapha in you as well, which is what we're born with. We're born with the three doshas at usually at various levels. So it's like a fingerprint that we're born with. So you always want to maintain that proportion of the three doshas, so not to imbalance your main dosha.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Pat Conte. Now we move on to our testimonials, and today we have another Pat with us, Pat Robinson and Dick Wolcott. So tell us first how you got into the patches, how you heard about them, and what made you want to try them. And then what were some of the results?
I went to a garage sale at the World Equestrian Center in Florida, and this woman had pictures of before and after pictures that caught my attention. She had them displayed on her table, and she briefly told me about what she was selling, and put a patch on a friend of mine who had just was recovering from serious injury. I took the cards and I brought them home, and I was kind of curious, but I laid them aside. I think a month or two went by, and one day I decided to give her a call and ask her more about it. And I put in an order. I tried, the first day I put on a patch, I felt more energetic that day. About the third day I had put on the patch, I felt happier. I had this energy, and I can smile. I could now laugh at Swami's punny jokes.
Who, me?
And,
So
and
Nick loves them. That's why I say them.
Wow.
and I think a week went by, and I was now going under my fence without much struggle. Usually I get down on my knees and I use my hands and I get in the dirt to go under the fence
To get to the horses.
to get to the horses. And now I was just kind of squatting and getting underneath the fence. And by that point, I think it was a week later, Swami decided he was going to try them.
Well, just says, as I remember, day one, you knocked on my door giggling.
Okay.
And on day three, you were ducking under the fence.
Okay.
And you said to me, you had fibromyalgia and arthritis and you couldn't bend for decades. But look today, we were all watching you going, I want what she has, whatever she's doing.
So I started to feel better and better. My energy was better. I noticed I wasn't drinking as much caffeine. Somewhere around 6 weeks, I think it was, I was kneeling on the floor and I picked up something from the floor, and I stood up and I realized I hadn't used my hands at all.
Wow.
Usually it's like get down on your hands and your knees and you're going, you're crawling, and you got to get back. And it just amazed me. I was just astonished. I had to run and tell Dick, I just got up off the floor and I didn't use my hands. And a lot of times now I show people that. I say, look what I can do. Yeah, and there's a lot more subtle stuff that was going on. I found myself walking down the stairs without holding on to the railing. Um, a couple of times, something that would have normally tripped me or uneven ground that would make me lose my balance, and that wasn't happening. Just recently I was carrying eggs and my heel got caught on the step, and for sure I would have went down with those eggs in my hand, and I caught myself. I mean, that's really amazing stuff to me. Um, my knees don't hurt anymore going down the stairs or going up the stairs. My legs kind of lift easier. That used to be where I'd feel like I wanted to just pull them up, but now they're going up.
Yeah.
Yesterday I ran after my granddaughter downhill towards the barn. Usually I walk like a horse across the hill, turn around, walk across the other way. Now I'm going straight down the hill because my knees are not feeling the pressure from going straight down the hill. Um, I ran after her to catch up with her in the barn, um, downhill. This past week I was riding and I hadn't been riding much. And usually if I don't ride at least once a week, my inner thighs ache. My legs are tired. Yes, they ached the first day, but within an hour they weren't aching. And the next morning they weren't tight and aching. So my
Wow.
recovery now is probably gone back 20 years. My recovery from physical activity. When I use this so-called stem cell reversing patch X39 with the with the X49 patch, I can work out a little harder at the gym without after effects. In fact, it's fun to go to the gym. And the greatest the recovery this weekend was the fast recovery was nice. But the biggest thing was my glasses that I had gotten about 5 or 6 months ago. I felt like my eyes were battling each other to see. It just wasn't right. It was only a 6-month prescription at the most. I went to the eye doctor yesterday and he checked my eyes. He says, I don't know what you're doing here. This is a new prescription. I said, because my eyes don't feel right. The new prescription I got, I compared it with the old prescription from 2.5 years ago. My eyes have gotten stronger. They've gotten better. That was my surprise. And
Wow.
I regressed 2 years younger, 2.5 years younger on my eyes.
Wow. And how long since when did you start wearing the patches?
I'm going on my 4th month.
Fourth month. So,
Oh,
so your eyes reversed 2 years roughly in
Yeah,
4 months.
yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And nighttime, I don't always put the light on in the barn because I could see a little better. I don't panic when I'm walking in the dark because I can see a little better.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I noticed.
Wow. Dr. Pat, you have any questions?
that's fabulous. It's only 4 months. Imagine in 4 years
It's
what you're going to
it's
be like.
it's 3 months going into 4. Yeah.
That's amazing. I was just wondering about how effective it would be for people who have macular degeneration. Would be,
There's testimony. I just saw one recently,
Did he say macular?
macular degeneration. I just saw one recently and they were wearing the patches up on their eyes, right, on their temples. Eon, I think.
Isn't they had the X39 on the back of the neck as normal, and she had a right eye problem, I think.
Right
and
eye,
she
yeah.
put it on the right temple.
Wow.
And in 3 months, you want me to interrupt?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
They had I don't know if it was an X-ray or whatever.
Whatever the doctor does, he's got to have pictures of
He has
the
a
eye.
picture of the eye piece, and there's a little V in the top of whatever that piece was, and
That membrane,
and
yeah.
the bad one, that V has gone up, it was swelling underneath.
Wow.
And 3 months later, it was a little bit down. 6 months later, it was just like the other eye, perfect.
Wow.
And that was just from the Eon patch on her temple.
no, the Eon and the X39.
Yeah.
And which patches are you using, Pat?
The 3 that I use the most are X39, X49. I use that for muscles and joints, but also because I've been diagnosed with osteoporosis. I don't believe it. I've fallen off horses. Thank God my bones stay together, but, and I'm very active, but, you know, I'm giving it, I want to build that bone. I can't wait to get my next DEXA scan.
So
And
just to be clear, because we don't diagnose problems or conditions, the X49 is known to improve the bone density.
right, right.
Okay.
Right. So I'm giving that a try. And the third one, I use Eon because I've learned to love Eon because I've had arthritis pain in my feet, in my knees, in my right wrist, carpal tunnel. I use it sometimes right there, and my carpal tunnel, I forgot about that. That's pretty much gone. I don't cuff my hand anymore at night. I don't wrap it during the day. I sometimes have a little tingling, but I haven't had any today at all. Sometimes I stick it right there, but the Eon takes away pain sometimes in minutes on my
Yeah.
whole body.
Yeah.
Mm.
Awesome.
I've gone from needing orthotics to wearing barefoot shoes. It's just amazing. I don't have to wear those orthotics and those hard-soled shoes. I can feel the ground. Maybe that's fixing my balance.
Well, that does too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your whole body position
Yeah.
your posture is improved from those shoes.
That's
I've
good.
experienced that.
Yep.
So in just 3 months, you've done this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hmm.
And anything else you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I could see my scalp in the front of my head. I can't
Uh-huh.
see it anymore. My hair has gotten thicker. It doesn't even lay flat anymore because it's thicker.
Uh-huh.
And I see black shadow here. I'm actually getting black hairs back.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Wow. Wow.
that's pretty interesting.
I have to go buy a dress for the prom now.
Going dancing Saturday night for my birthday, 76.
Uh,
76 Trump.
All right. Awesome. That's really great. Great. Dr. Pat, anything else you wanted to ask about that or comment on?
Well, I think it's just amazing. It just goes to show that the patches can help. I shouldn't say this, almost any condition.
Yeah.
And I think I personally feel that everybody should be on the patches.
Yeah.
It, even though it's not, there are no the best thing about the patches is that there are no side effects, no
No side
adverse
effects.
effects.
No.
Like drugs therapy is nothing transdermally is entering your body. It's you are healing yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's the way God made us to heal ourselves, but we forget how to do it. Our body.
I feel so confident now about my health because I feel like I'm healing instead of breaking down every day as I get older. Because no matter how conscious I've been about eating and exercise, you still feel every day like you were fighting a downhill battle. And now I feel like I'm going upwards, and it's wonderful.
Yes.
And how are you doing? You used to have like a lot of different vitamins and pills and things to take care of. You still on
Yeah.
them, or do you need them as much?
I've just taken probably less than half now.
That's great.
And you know, I do take bioidentical hormones, and I'm hoping that's something else I can phase out eventually.
Yeah, there's been some testimonial videos on that too, actually. So, well,
That would
thank you
save
for
me a
that.
lot of money. That stuff's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Mr. Dick? Tell us your
Okay,
story.
I guess I've been on the patches only probably just under 2 months, something
Yeah.
like that. And generally, my findings have been a little more subtle. And let me say right up front that I have not consistently used anything but the X39.
Okay.
I haven't found that the other patches did anything significant that I could feel right away. Anybody,
Okay.
but I've been religious on the X39.
Right, right.
Um, the very next day after I started, I was walking out to the barn and I discovered that I was walking straight instead of standing up, like a military posture.
Wow.
I said, what's this? You know, now
Yeah.
since then, I haven't noticed it because maybe I'm that way. I don't know.
Yeah,
That can tell me.
yeah.
Uh,
I haven't said straighten up.
yeah. Um, generally, in the first few weeks, I had a feeling of well-being and so forth, and that's consistent. And quite frankly, um, the results have been subtle. I noticed very soon on that the burning at the bottom of my feet stopped,
Wow, that's great.
and you know that and the shoes used to be bothering me all the time that you wear for a few hours and they bother me. They're not right still, but they don't bother me so much. Generally, I've my right shoulder has had pain. It should be fixed, and it's not, and that is reduced substantially, probably 75% reduced.
Wow.
So once in a while, I get zinged with a severe piece, but the rest of the time, it's at a 1 or 2 level. You barely notice it.
That's-
And I think the major thing that has affected me is that I have a lot more energy and recovery, like Pat says. As you know, Swami, we're up 3 flights of stairs and you go downhill to the barn and so forth. When I came up to the top of the stairs, I was out of breath and I had to pull myself up the stairs with my hands too. Now it's not perfect, but it's a lot easier.
No,
And so
2 months. That's pretty good for 2 months.
you've said that I was getting in and out of the car easier, so I'm more flexible.
Yeah.
In respect. What else? One of the things I noticed recently is I must be detoxic because I'm peeing a lot and I'm passing gas a lot.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that, I haven't changed my diet that much, and I'm assuming that that's detoxing.
Just drink a lot of fluids.
I have a heart valve condition and a slow ventricle electrical going through my heart. And
Okay.
so I suspect that the X39 is working on that long term. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm aiming at, and also my prostate. So those kinds of things are what I'm doing. But I'm feeling pretty good. And
For 2 months, that's really, really, really good.
nothing
Amazing.
great, but overall, just general feeling a lot better.
And anything else you would want to talk about?
Oh yeah. On my hair, on my arms, this hair in the first few weeks or month, this hair got like it is, fuzzy. And
Wow.
and more recently,
It's got more black in it.
yeah, and more recently, very fine black hairs are
Yeah.
growing in it. And Pat tells me I can't see it, but at the same
Back
thing,
here, it's
up
filling in
the
the back.
Pat, I've got black hairs going up there. So who knows?
All right.
If I have some notes here, let's see if I missed anything. My balance is better. Vivid dreams, sleeping like a log.
Nice.
There are 2 things that are recommended. One thing is to drink a lot of fluids
Oh
because
yeah, I am.
Dick was talking about detoxifying. You have to get rid of those toxins from your body. Otherwise, they're going to build up. So you have to drink a lot of fluids.
And I have been, and it's going
another
right through me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to rid those. And it's also probably a good idea to take some vitamin D.
Well, we do.
We do.
We do, yeah.
That they're the main things that you have to consider.
I forgot to mention, because this happened towards the very beginning. When I used to sit quietly, I used to have some flutter in my chest, and everybody worries about that, so I had to worry about it. That disappeared quite quickly. Maybe once a month I might get a slight little flutter, but once, not 3 or 4 or 5 in a row. I'm not coughing because it got that extra beat. And that's an important thing.
Wow. And you're X39, X49, and
And
Eon.
Eon also helps. I'm an ADHD person, and it just helps to slow my thinking down. And I feel like when I'm driving the horses in the big truck, I feel calmer. I feel able to stay more focused. Um, I can feel the difference that way with the Eon.
Nice. And Dick's a one patch wonder.
Well, the first month I was playing with Eon and X49 and
Yeah.
Dion and
glutathione and
Hmm.
cosamine or whatever it is. And,
Conazine. Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't notice anything spectacular, so I said, "What the heck with it? Let me just stay with the X49, X39."
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is the stem cells, and the X39 is the one that generates the stem cells.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm after with the serious stuff.
Yeah. Very good.
Allergies too. My allergies have been better.
Yeah,
Seasonal-
that's why we ask people to make a list of everything they want to
Yeah,
address.
I meant
Because
to
you
do
don't
it.
notice when pain goes away. You only
Yeah.
notice when pain is there.
That's true. That's true. You don't realize it, but it's a good idea to list all your problems before you start taking the patches.
Yeah.
List everything, and then look at every month. Look at it and see what's getting better. What you can remove from that list.
And not only what's serious, but all the little things that irritate you.
Yes, the
The
irritating
little
little
things.
things.
The little things always disappear first, so you want to know that.
Right. Exactly. Gotta write
Register.
everything down. It's very important because you don't
And Dick,
realize, because you think after a while you don't have any difficulty, you don't have any pain or whatever, and you say, well, patches aren't doing anything. But then when you think back, oh yeah, I used to have pain over here. My hip used to bother me. My knee used to bother me. But you
My
forget
nails are
forget all
growing.
about it.
Yeah,
You know,
I trim my nails at least once a week now. I never used to.
I haven't been able to keep nails. Usually with horses, they get broken. They're growing. I gotta keep cutting them down.
so that's a downside, you're saying. And Dick, did you mention how old you are? You're talking about more energy and all that.
It's turned 85 a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Of
And
course, I'm blessed with good genes. I got to thank my parents for that, but
yeah,
that takes care of me with the food too.
yeah, well, sure that helps.
I got to get off this ultra processed food. I don't know how.
He eats a lot of those granola bars,
At least they're very low sugar and high protein. So
yeah.
that's still an all.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to at least slowly start to taper it off. What I'm finding is after a while, um, I don't, I can't eat as much at the same time, and I'm losing my taste for more sweet things than I used to.
I'm having the same experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
But it's hard to get away from that ultra processed stuff. It's everywhere.
it's in everything.
Yeah.
Well, if you only had somebody could cook you those whole non-processed.
Yeah, if he only had somebody.
Well, that's really great. Thank you so much for sharing, both of you, and it's going to help a lot of people. Very common conditions, and the fact that you notice things in 2 weeks, 2 months, as just beginning, and I'm going to actually talk about what we can expect so what are the mile markers? So I'm going to perfect segue into that. So I am going to actually share my screen so folks can see this chart. Share this. Share. Okay. All right. So can you guys see the blue
Yes,
picture?
that's good.
Okay. So I'm just going to read this over, and you guys can comment along the way. So when we wear the X39, this is all what they found in their research. They've done blind studies. There's over 100 research studies. Some of them they found in the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to be reset. Within 24 hours, 3,000 to 4,000 genes begin to be reset to a healthier, younger state. And as Pat and Dick said, even in the first few days, they noticed things happening. Within 4 weeks, within the month, a new army is activated. Your new army is now activated and attracted first to your most critical issues that need repair and regeneration. And while, as we were talking about, you may not feel this, the internal organs, the tissues, it's harder to notice when they're changing, when they're healing. And then sooner or later, we do say, hey, that's not happening anymore. And within 6 weeks, the brain balancing starts to become more noticeable. In a recent study show after 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced through QEEG brain mapping. I don't know what that is, but I don't know what the Q is. These types of changes help calm overactive brains, leading to a decrease in multiple symptoms such as memory, depression, anxiety, sleep, and more. And that Pat was talking about, her calm, her mind is more settled. Her ADD is much less an influence in her life. Within 3 months, they found that collagen is increased. Collagen is elevated, initiating rapid repair of tissues in your body. And there are studies that there's testimonies that if you ask us, we'll get you the links. Where there's bone on bone in the knees, they found the cartilage has actually grown back. So that's going to take longer than 3 months, I believe, but this is what people are reporting is happening to them. And within 6 months, the heart age is reduced. They found in a study that after 6 weeks of the patch, wearing the patch, the X39, the cardiovascular system was acting 8 weeks younger. So basically that means for every day you wear the patch, the cardiovascular system is a day and a third younger. So next year we'll all be in baby strollers and feeling really good. And within with a whole year, 12 months, regeneration is noticeable. We look and feel younger inside and out. And as we've seen here tonight, and with our other testimonies, even in the first few days, this is happening for people. So this is a good understanding for folks who are brand new to LifeWave, what you can expect. Everybody's different. Everybody has different experiences. Some people have similar experiences. And that's all I have to say about the science for today. Anything anybody wants to comment on?
You want to add some of our experience with the people that were patching?
I can
Well,
talk to other people.
Yeah, we could invite them on if they'd like to come on.
You and Dick can get together with me and we can make our own granola bars. I'm not doing it alone.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Sounds like a plan. And all right, Dr. Conte, any last words, questions, comments?
One of the things I wanted to mention was that when I explained about the patches to people, and they have a very quizzical look on their face, and they have a difficult time accepting it, especially some of the more people that are scientifically oriented. And they say, well, I'll look into it. And when they leave, I say, what a shame. These people are giving up something or ignoring something that could be so helpful to them and many other people. it's too bad that they shunned further investigation into the patches, but you can lead a horse to water, but they can't make the horse drink, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I think the main reason is there's so much trash out there in the world,
That's true.
and people have been raked over the coals with things that aren't authentic. And this to them sounds the same.
This-
And we've got to somehow break through that,
Right.
because you're right. It's everybody should be on this stuff.
It's
My massage therapist didn't want to believe it. Today she told me to text her the information I needed. She was going to give it a try. And all of a sudden I could hear about the fact that she works out at the gym, but she can't get her arms up quite as much and different things that she never complained about. So it comes. It took most of the summer, but she sees the difference in me, I guess, and is ready to try it.
I know, even as a physician, even though I'm a radiologist, I still get involved with treating people. And it it's so nice to come across a therapy that everyone can benefit from. And it's simple and it's without major adverse effects. When you watch TV and you watch those drug commercials, I shudder at the end when they start giving the adverse effects. So who would want to? I'd rather have the disease that the cure than take that drug and have the side effects.
I might die any moment, but this will save me.
Well, we agree. We always comment on that, and big pharma is in control, unfortunately, and they got everybody brainwashed.
Right, that's right, and the physicians as well.
Yeah,
But
very much so.
but see,
They-
that's what's in our armamentarium. That's what we have. Drugs.
Yeah.
We don't do acupuncture. We don't do massage. We don't do acupressure. We don't do practice Ayurveda, things of these things. So we have drugs that we push on patients. And I think we have to get away from that mindset that there are other alternatives that we should get involved
We're
with.
all in agreement with that. It's just it's an
Yeah.
uphill battle.
I mean, there is a place for allopathic medicine in emergencies.
Yes.
That's the thing
And
to
of
use.
course,
Everything has its place. No
Yes.
question about that. Everything has its place.
Yes, there's two incidences this past week or two that have blown me apart. I have one friend that was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and the beginning stages, but they put her on insulin, and because she was on Medicare doesn't pay for insulin anymore. Figure that one out. I have another friend that was using Ozempic and found out that when he turns 65, it's not going to get paid for. 61% of our population has diabetes or pre-diabetes, and now they're pulling away the medication that's supposed to fix it. You got to pay for it.
Hmm.
It's hard to believe.
Well,
Definitely needs
that
approval.
we have a lot of people that are going to want to hear more about this then.
Huh? Yeah, there you go.
and we got to keep talking about it, and we've got to educate ourselves on how to penetrate their minds so we can get success.
Well, I'm not in the convincing business, but when people are ready, they'll
Yeah,
Come.
yeah,
people
you
wake
can't
up.
preach. You can't preach.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Pat and Dick. It's great to see you. It's a wonderful surprise. Congratulations with your eyes. It's a wonderful surprise to hear. And
The
Doing
Dr.
side effect is I have to pay for new glasses.
yeah, there's always a catch.
well, maybe eventually you will need them. Who
That's
knows?
right. There you go. I'll save in the long run.
Yes.
When you start feeling better, you're gonna have to pay to go to those nightclubs again.
Right.
Okay, guys, thanks so much. Dr. Pat, thank you again. It's great to be on this podcast with you. And until next Wednesday, we wish you all good health and joy, joy, joy.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Uh,
Yes.